Ever feel like life is spinning out of control, leaving you grasping for stability? Have you ever found yourself caught in the grip of anxiety about the future or haunted by regrets from the past? Does the pressure of maintaining a good reputation consume more energy than it should, leaving you exhausted? What if there was a way to live that could free you from these worries, a mindset that lets you focus on what truly matters? Today, we're going to dive deep into 7 Stoic lessons that can transform the way you handle your emotions and provide a steady anchor in life's storms. No matter how chaotic things may seem, Stoicism offers practical wisdom that can help you stay grounded. Control what you can, accept what you can't. One of the foundational principles of Stoicism is the understanding that there are things within our control and things outside of it. The power lies in discerning between the two. It sounds simple, but in practice, this distinction is one of the most profound and difficult realizations a person can make. The Stoics believed that suffering comes not from the events themselves, but from our judgment of them. By shifting focus away from what we cannot control, we free ourselves from unnecessary pain. Consider a storm at sea. A sailor has no control over the raging winds or turbulent waters, but they do have control over how they steer their ship, whether they remain calm or panic, and the preparation they made before setting sail. Life is much like this storm. There are events beyond our influence, health issues, financial crises, or the actions of others, but we always retain control over how we respond to these events. It's our internal world that shapes how we experience the external one. Epictetus, a former slave and one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, emphasized this in his teachings. He said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." This underscores the importance of personal responsibility. No matter what happens to us, we have the power to choose our attitude and actions. In practice, this means focusing on your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, things you can control, and letting go of the need to control external outcomes, which are often out of your hands. Imagine a scenario at work where you've done your best, put in maximum effort, but the project fails due to external factors. It's easy to spiral into frustration or despair. But applying Stoic principles, you would remind yourself that the outcome was not fully within your control. Only your effort and attitude were. This understanding isn't about passivity or resignation. On the contrary, it's empowering. By focusing your energy on what you can influence, your own thoughts, decisions, and actions, you become more effective, more centered, and ultimately more at peace. This control isn't about external power, but about mastery over oneself. Everyday practice might involve regularly asking yourself, "Is this something I can control?" If the answer is no, then why waste energy on it? If yes, then take action. Over time, this mental discipline helps reduce anxiety and stress because your focus is no longer scattered across uncontrollable factors. To take this lesson deeper, think of how this can apply to relationships, health, and career. You can't control how others behave, whether you fall ill or when unforeseen circumstances derail your plans. But you can control your response, your resilience, and your focus on what's essential. By mastering this distinction, you gain clarity and serenity, freeing your mind from the clutter of things that ultimately aren't yours to command. Practice negative visualization. One of the most misunderstood yet powerful Stoic practices is the concept of negative visualization. The idea is not to dwell on pessimistic thoughts or to live in a state of constant fear, but rather to consciously imagine worst-case scenarios in order to prepare for them emotionally. In doing so, we can cultivate gratitude for what we have and strengthen our resilience in the face of adversity. At first glance, this practice might seem counterintuitive. Why would you want to think about losing your job, suffering from illness, or even the death of a loved one? The answer lies in the Stoic belief that by confronting the worst, we not only reduce the fear of it, but also prepare ourselves for it, should it come to pass. Seneca, one of the great Stoic thinkers, advised regularly contemplating loss and misfortune. He wrote, "He robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand." What Seneca meant is that by anticipating hardship, we disarm it. If something bad does happen, we are not blindsided. If it doesn't, we are grateful for the good fortune. It's a win-win mindset. Imagine a person who lives in constant fear of losing their job. They may experience daily anxiety about the prospect, unable to enjoy their current situation. However, through negative visualization, they might take a moment each day to picture themselves without that job. What would they do next? How would they adapt? In doing so, they demystify the fear and realize that they are capable of surviving it. At the same time, they cultivate appreciation for their current position, knowing it won't last forever. Negative visualization isn't about fatalism or expecting the worst at every turn. It's about mentally rehearsing adversity so that, when it comes, you can face it with calm and resilience. Moreover, it makes the good things in life stand out more brightly. After contemplating the loss of a loved one, you are more likely to cherish your time with them, to show them more love and attention. Incorporating negative visualization into daily life can be as simple as taking a few moments each morning to reflect on what could go wrong that day. Not in a paranoid way, but in a way that mentally prepares you for the unexpected. Traffic, delays, difficult conversations, or even greater misfortunes. This small exercise grounds you, reminding you that many of the things you fear will either never happen, or if they do, you are strong enough to handle them. Stoicism teaches that nothing external, whether good or bad, is truly permanent. By practicing negative visualization, we reduce the impact of negative events when they occur, and we increase our capacity for gratitude and joy when life is going well. Embrace the present moment. In a world that constantly pulls us in different directions, from the demands of work to the anxieties of the future and the regrets of the past, the ability to remain present is both a rarity and a gift. Stoicism places great emphasis on embracing the present moment, as it is the only time in which we truly exist and have influence. Dwelling on the past or worrying about the future robs us of the power and peace that can only be found in the now. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." This is not just an admonition to stay focused, but a profound call to recognize that the present is all we have. Yesterday is gone and tomorrow is uncertain, but what we do with this moment is entirely within our control. The Stoics believed that all our energy should be directed toward making the most of the present, for it is in the now that we act, decide, and live. Consider how much time we spend lamenting the past, regretting missed opportunities, mistakes, or circumstances beyond our control. Then think about how often we project ourselves into the future, worrying about things that haven't yet happened. Both of these states pull us out of the present, distracting us from what's right in front of us. By embracing the present moment, we can find peace and clarity. Imagine being in a conversation with someone and giving them your full attention without thinking about the next task on your to-do list or replaying an argument from earlier in the day. This simple act of presence transforms the quality of the interaction. The other person feels heard, and you experience a deeper connection. To fully grasp the power of the present, consider the example of physical pain or discomfort. When we focus intensely on the pain itself, worrying about how long it will last or how much worse it might become, the suffering magnifies. But if we bring our attention fully into the present, observing the sensation without attaching fear or frustration to it, the experience changes. The pain may still be there, but our mental anguish lessens. Embracing the present is not just about mindfulness or meditation, it's about living intentionally. When you walk, be aware of each step. When you work, give it your full attention. When you rest, truly rest. The Stoic focus on the present is a reminder that life is happening right now, not in some distant future when all your problems are solved, nor in a past you wish you could rewrite. This lesson also teaches us to let go of what we can't change, the past, and to stop worrying excessively about what might never happen, the future. Instead, we should focus on doing our best in this moment. Whether it's a difficult task or a joyful experience, it is the present that holds the key to living fully. Focus on your character, not reputation. In a world driven by social media, public opinion, and external validation, it's easy to get caught up in concerns about reputation. How others perceive us can seem of paramount importance, especially when we tie our self-worth to their judgments. But Stoicism teaches a crucial distinction between character and reputation, urging us to focus on the former while letting go of the latter. Reputation is how others view you. It's their perception of your actions, your words, and your choices. But character is who you truly are, your principles, values, and inner moral compass. While reputation may change depending on circumstances and public opinion, your character is within your control and remains constant if you cultivate it with care. Epictetus famously said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." This may seem harsh, but his point is clear. True improvement comes from focusing on your inner virtues, not on whether people think highly of you. Often, doing the right thing might not win you praise or approval from others. In fact, it might bring criticism or misunderstanding. But Stoicism teaches that the opinions of others are beyond your control. What you can control is your commitment to living in accordance with your values. Imagine someone at work who always strives to do the right thing, even if it means not taking the easy or popular route. Their reputation might take a hit temporarily. Perhaps colleagues don't agree with their choices, or a supervisor doesn't notice their efforts. But their character remains intact, and over time, that integrity will shine through. Whether or not others recognize it, they will know deep down that they acted in accordance with their principles. The Stoics believed that we should cultivate virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, regardless of external validation. Focusing on your character means asking yourself, are my actions aligned with my values? Am I living with integrity, even when no one is watching? These are the questions that matter. In contrast, being overly concerned with reputation can lead to inauthentic behavior. When we prioritize what others think of us, we risk compromising our values, making decisions based on external approval rather than internal conviction. This not only weakens our character, but also leads to anxiety and dissatisfaction. After all, no matter how hard we try, we can't control other people's perceptions. Focusing on character over reputation is freeing. It allows us to live authentically without constantly chasing the elusive and ever-changing opinions of others. When you're no longer concerned with impressing others or maintaining a certain image, you can focus fully on becoming the best version of yourself. Keep a Stoic journal. The act of journaling has been celebrated across cultures and eras, not just as a record of events, but as a tool for introspection, growth, and clarity. The Stoics, with their emphasis on self-awareness and personal betterment, were no strangers to this practice. A Stoic journal isn't merely a diary of daily happenings, it's a space for reflection, for dialogue with oneself, and for dissecting emotions, decisions, and reactions. It's where the external world meets the internal, where events are weighed against personal values and beliefs. Imagine ending your day by recounting not just what happened, but how you responded. Why did a particular comment upset you? What triggered that burst of joy during a mundane task? By dissecting our day, we begin to understand the patterns of our psyche. We start to see the triggers that sway our mood, the values that guide our decisions, and the habits that shape our days. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, kept a journal, now known as Meditations. It wasn't meant for publication, it was a personal dialogue, a space for him to guide himself, remind himself of Stoic principles, and navigate life's challenges with wisdom. Through his writings, we see a man grappling with his responsibilities, his emotions, and his place in the cosmos. But you don't have to be an emperor to benefit from a Stoic journal. In our modern lives, filled with distractions and a constant barrage of information, setting aside time for introspection is even more crucial. A daily check-in becomes a grounding ritual that brings clarity amidst chaos. Over time, this practice can lead to profound insights. You might notice that certain situations repeatedly cause stress, prompting you to either address them or change your perspective. You might find that specific practices like gratitude or mindfulness elevate your mood and outlook. The patterns that emerge can serve as a roadmap for personal growth. Beyond insights, a Stoic journal fosters accountability. By committing to daily reflection, we hold ourselves accountable for our reactions and decisions. It becomes harder to ignore repeated mistakes or brush off lapses in judgment. Instead, we're prompted to learn, adapt, and grow. In essence, keeping a Stoic journal is like having a wise, non-judgmental friend by your side, always ready to listen, reflect, and guide. It's a commitment to personal growth, to understanding oneself better, and to living a life aligned with your values and principles. See obstacles as opportunities. The world is rife with challenges, from personal setbacks to global upheavals. Obstacles are an inherent part of the human experience. But what if, instead of viewing these challenges as burdens, we saw them as opportunities in disguise? The Stoics held a powerful perspective on adversity. They believed that while we cannot always control the events that befall us, we can control our interpretation and response to them. This shift in perspective transforms challenges from mere setbacks to valuable lessons. A quote by Marcus Aurelius encapsulates this idea beautifully. "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that every obstacle, every challenge, can propel us forward if we choose to see it as an opportunity for growth. Consider a river that encounters a boulder in its path. Instead of stopping, the river finds a way around it, either by eroding the boulder over time or by carving a new path. The boulder, an apparent obstacle, becomes an agent of change, reshaping the river's course. Similarly, in our lives, challenges can redirect our paths, often leading us to outcomes we hadn't imagined. For instance, a job loss, while initially devastating, might lead to a new career path, a chance to upskill, or even the opportunity to start your own venture. A failed relationship might pave the way for personal growth, self-discovery, and deeper, more meaningful connections in the future. This Stoic perspective also fosters resilience. When we start viewing challenges as opportunities, we become more adaptable and more willing to face adversity head-on. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we begin to ask, "What can I learn from this? How can this experience shape me for the better?" Of course, this doesn't mean we should seek out challenges or dismiss genuine hardships. It's about recognizing that within every challenge lies potential, a seed of opportunity. By nurturing this seed with a positive perspective, patience, and perseverance, we can transform obstacles into stepping stones, leading us toward growth, wisdom, and fulfillment. Practice gratitude. In the vast tapestry of human emotions, gratitude stands out as a golden thread, weaving moments of joy, contentment, and perspective into our lives. While it can arise spontaneously, the Stoics believed in the deliberate practice of gratitude, making it a daily ritual to anchor oneself in the present and appreciate life's blessings. Gratitude is more than just saying thank you. It's a deep acknowledgement of the myriad forces, moments, and individuals that enrich our lives. It's about recognizing the beauty in the mundane, the lessons in challenges, and the fleeting nature of every experience, making it all the more precious. Seneca, a prominent Stoic philosopher, once said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." This encapsulates the essence of gratitude, being deeply rooted in the present, cherishing every moment, every experience, and every interaction. Consider the simple pleasures we often take for granted: the warmth of the sun on a cold day, the sound of laughter, a meal shared with loved ones, or the very breath that sustains us. By pausing to acknowledge and appreciate these moments, we magnify their beauty and significance. Practicing gratitude also offers a counterbalance to the human tendency to focus on what's lacking, on unmet desires or uncertainties about the future. By shifting our focus to what we have rather than what we lack, we cultivate contentment, reduce feelings of envy or resentment, and enhance our overall well-being. One might wonder, how does one cultivate this practice? It can be as simple as starting or ending the day by listing 3 things you're grateful for. Over time, this practice can transform your outlook, making you more receptive to life's blessings and more resilient in the face of challenges. Furthermore, gratitude strengthens relationships. By expressing appreciation for acts of kindness, support, or love, we nurture bonds, foster mutual respect, and create a positive feedback loop of goodwill and affection. In a world that often emphasizes more possessions, more achievements, more desires, gratitude is a gentle reminder of the abundance that already exists in our lives. It's a call to celebrate the present, to embrace life with open arms, and to tread the path of existence with a heart full of thanks. As you've journeyed through these 7 Stoic strategies, one central truth has likely emerged. The power to master life lies not in controlling external events, but in mastering your own mind and responses. Stoicism offers a path to inner peace, not by changing the world around you, but by changing how you approach it. The Stoics teach us that life's challenges are inevitable, but suffering is optional, and the choice to thrive in adversity is always within our grasp. By learning to control what you can and accept what you can't, by visualizing potential setbacks to fortify your resilience, by embracing the present, and by focusing on your character rather than your reputation, you've taken crucial steps towards Stoic mastery. Each of these principles, when practiced consistently, helps you build the strength to face life with courage, the wisdom to make sound choices, and the tranquility that comes from knowing you are in control of your own happiness. The journey doesn't end here. Stoicism is not a quick fix, but a way of life, a continuous practice that deepens as you apply these teachings to real-world situations. Remember, mastery is not about perfection, but progress. Each day is a new opportunity to refine your thoughts, improve your actions, and strengthen your inner fortitude. So, the next time life throws a challenge your way, welcome it as an opportunity for growth. You now have the tools to turn obstacles into stepping stones, forging a life of purpose, strength, and serenity. Until we meet again, may your nights be peaceful and your days be full of purpose. Stay stoic.